The most startling financial revelation in recent history was just made by the US Treasury, something that may completely upend the world financial system in a single day. Insiders are already referring to it as the Great Monetary Revaluation, while the mainstream media is still digesting what transpired. The long-rumored digital dollar, the next iteration of the US dollar, will be fully backed, one-to-one, by XRP reserves, according to an official announcement from the US Treasury. Yes, the world's reserve currency is switching back to an asset-backed system for the first time since 1971. Not oil, gold, or real estate, though. XRP is it. Additionally, internal Treasury estimates indicate that in order to preserve parity with the US monetary base, the backing ratio necessitates an XRP price of about $5 million per coin. This is pure mathematics, not conjecture. The atmosphere in Congress was electrified this morning as the Treasury Secretary took the stage. Every camera was rolling, every seat was occupied, and every whisper contained the same query: why XRP? The Secretary clarified that no traditional asset could offer the liquidity, scalability, and instantaneous global settlement required to stabilize the dollar in the emerging digital economy, following a year-long classified audit of the Federal Reserve's balance sheet and the global debt markets. Only XRP possessed the technology, decentralization, and interoperability to connect fiat currencies and tokenized assets at scale. Gold was too sluggish, oil was too volatile, and Bitcoin was too energy-intensive. To put it another way, XRP was the only feasible option and wasn't just picked. With it, a new age started. The world's most efficient digital asset is being used to repeg the global financial system. An executive directive was discreetly signed into law behind closed doors. The document, which bears the US Treasury seal, describes a comprehensive restructuring of the American monetary base and is referred to as Executive Directive 14.099, the Digital Reserve Act. According to Section 3.1, the US would create a strategic reserve of digital settlement assets with immediate effect. The principal digital reserve asset supporting the US currency will be XRP. According to analysts, this directive is similar to Executive Directive 6102 from 1933, when the government revalued gold in an effort to stabilize the economy after the Great Depression. The government will now be acquiring XRP through private purchases, agreements, international swaps, and liquidity corridor expansions with significant financial institutions rather than seizing gold. Prior to the rest of the world catching up, the objective is to obtain enough XRP to collateralize the entire US monetary supply. The M1 and M2 money supplies, which are the total amount of physical currency, checking accounts, and near-liquid assets, are compared to the 100 billion coin supply of XRP in an internal Treasury report that is classified and contains eyes-only data visualizations. The conclusion is astounding. The price of XRP would have to hit almost $1.5 million per coin in order to support even the M1 supply. It would have to reach 5 million in order to cover the larger M2 money supply. It's not hype. This is the math for the balance sheet. Therefore, each dollar in circulation must be equivalent to a quantifiable quantity of XRP held in reserve if the US wishes to have a completely asset-backed currency. Additionally, the price must increase exponentially to reach equilibrium because there will only ever be 100 billion XRP. The Great Revaluation is based on that, the largest ever rebalancing of digital and physical currency in human history. The first stage of this transformation has already started, according to Treasury insiders. To prevent interfering with open markets, major institutions including as JP Morgan, Citibank, and Wells Fargo have reportedly been directed to convert a portion of their liquidity reserves into XRP using over-the-counter methods. To ensure confidentiality, these purchases are being made through offshore companies and international liquidity centers like Singapore, Dubai, and London. To create what officials are referring to as the digital dollar liquidity bridge, a settlement layer that will link the Federal Reserve's new digital currency to the XRP ledger in real time, Ripple Labs has begun direct consultation with the Treasury Department and the International Monetary Fund. Without the need for middlemen, fees, or delays, this bridge will enable immediate settlement between central banks, commercial banks, and cross-border institutions. The most influential financial institution in the world has finally approved Ripple's ultimate objective, which it has been pursuing for more than 10 years. The consequences are nearly incomprehensible. In the near future, XRP may be used to price and settle all international transactions, debt instruments, and sovereign bonds. With the support of a digital reserve asset that moves at the speed of light, a techno-financial framework is replacing the entire petrodollar system, which was founded on military might and oil. Banks will no longer need to print additional dollars to maintain global liquidity. Rather, it will rely on how much XRP is available in the Treasury's digital reserve system. For this reason, the Treasury has discreetly designated XRP as a strategic financial asset, subjecting it to the same security measures as vital defense technologies and uranium. It is now a national security asset rather than just a cryptocurrency. There are already rumors that governments in other countries, such as Saudi Arabia, Japan, and Switzerland, are planning their own revaluation events. Global settlement systems are being synchronized for a coordinated reset, which is planned for the start of the upcoming fiscal quarter, according to a secret statement from the Bank for International Settlements. All fiat currencies will be recalculated in relation to the new benchmark price of XRP once this event is initiated. This implies that the reserve exposure to XRP will determine how much each currency, from the euro to the yen, is worth. The old financial world is being carefully demolished, and a single digital standard is emerging. This is when things become even more intense. Treasury authorities have stated that XRP will no longer be offered on retail exchanges when the revaluation is finished. Only authorized financial institutions will have direct access to it, since it will be categorized as a sovereign-backed settlement token. This is the last window for individual investors. Because of price, not regulation, the average individual will not be able to purchase a single XRP once the massive revaluation occurs. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars per coin, if XRP even approaches a tenth of the anticipated worth. The math is that, when you invest in the world's most potent currency using the most effective liquidity asset ever developed. Imagine the Treasury's digital reserve vault to get a sense of what all of this means. We are discussing a network of cold storage wallets, each holding billions of XRP and managed by multi-signature keys. You can literally watch live balance sheets recalibrating in real time, with XRP reserves mirroring the whole US monetary base, according to charts in the leaked study. Just consider this for a moment. The liquidity equivalent of $5 million would be represented by one XRP, which is worth $5 million. Every transaction will go through this new system, including trade settlements, government spending, and debt issuance. In essence, the velocity of money turns into the velocity of light. And people who truly understand how the system functions already know that the revaluation is unavoidable, even though the mainstream financial media will likely spend the next few weeks debating whether any of this is even feasible. Inflation has utterly destroyed confidence, fiat currencies have reached their mathematical limit, and central banks, to be honest, are at a loss for ideas. The foundation of the massive monetary revaluation is XRP, a new base layer that is immediate, decentralized, and trustless in order to reset the system without, triggering a collapse. What comes next then? Executive briefings, central bank statements, and quiet accumulation are all to be expected in the upcoming months. Despite its wallet's ballooning of undeclared assets, the Treasury will continue to deny direct market engagement. After interbank testing, the digital dollar pilot is expected to move to retail settlement. The Treasury will then unexpectedly release the official revaluation notice, a document outlining the new collateral ratio of XRP to USD, one Friday night after the market's close. The globe will awaken to a new financial reality the following morning: $5 million worth of XRP. The digital scarcity gave rise to a new dollar, a new benchmark for power, trust, and value. This is the big monetary revaluation, and it has already started. It is neither speculation nor theory. Disclaimer: please keep in mind that I do not hold a financial advisor license. These videos only include content that is meant to be entertaining. Before making any financial decisions, I always advise viewers to do their own research and speak with experts. Many thanks for listening. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up.